once again to Talking Small Press Comics, episode 21 this time, with Steve Keeter fixing his hair, which looks very nice, and myself, Larned Justin. I just got a haircut, so we are in good shape as far as hair. Other than that, we don't have anything else to say. We'll see you next time.
That was it. See you next time.
Right. Oh, wait a minute. No, we're supposed to do comics, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you want to do first?
It seems like we're caught in some sort of matrix where time and space connect and everything. So might as well review,
Matrix.
We have Matrix here.
Sherman Burnett sent four copies of Matrix.
4 issues.
I mean, 4 issues, not 4 copies.
4 issues.
4 issues. So I got issues 19 through 22.
From behind, and that's got to be Scott McClung. Is that Scott McClung?
These two, the first two are Scott McClung.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tony Lorenz. And then Joe Bagden, number 22.
Yeah.
So he's got a lineup of super artists doing this.
Here's Scott McClung's cover on number 19.
Yes. Yeah.
And I gotta say, you know, darn, she's one heck of a beautiful superhero.
Yeah, that's Matrix. Yep.
Yeah, it would be difficult to be in combat with her and not go like, oh, come on, you look gorgeous. I don't want to fight you, but she would stomp you. She would stomp you because I've seen what she can do.
You pretty good, I'm sure. And this number 19 is from 2018. So, goes back a little ways, but starts off really with her friend being stabbed right in the first panel.
Right.
And when you get stabbed in the first panel, that's painful,
Yep. Right off the bat.
Right off the bat, stabbed.
And she discovers that she has power she didn't realize she had.
Didn't realize, yes. She did not realize she could help him, and she could actually save his life. Although she recommends he does go to the hospital. But
yeah, he does end up in the hospital.
And he does go to the hospital, but she saves his life.
Yeah, he's not in there for long, though. And this is it's a complicated story with a lot of characters. I love the flying scenes. And
I was
like
just going to say she can fly.
Yeah, and the way Scott McClung illustrates this in the first couple of issues that we have, because he's a terrific artist, and that's just beautiful.
Yeah. The artwork,
the way she takes off above the city.
I would say for me, some of the print was a little bit small. This would be great digest size because you could appreciate the artwork a little more, but it is what it is. Yeah, you can use that.
That's why we have this.
And you could wear glasses too.
We have that, so we got double. We're prepared.
But now I'll warn everybody: there's a lot of characters in Matrix. Just to name a few: Jet, Siphon, Energon, Sonic, and
Night Slayer.
Also some fighting clones. So
that's right.
A lot of people to keep track of.
It makes it interesting, because if someone gets killed, it turns out it might not have been that person. It might have been a clone of that person.
Might have been a clone.
So that person pops up again a little bit later.
Yes.
And you got a lot of heroes here and villains.
Lots of heroes, lots of villains, lots of action.
Underworld, sort of a criminal underworld run by people who have superheroic henchmen who are mostly female.
Yeah, most of the superheroes are females. Yeah, and there is a group called the Circle.
Yeah.
And those are also superheroes. Now, this seems to change a little bit between somebody she thought was a villain, turns out kind of to be on her side, I believe, if I read that correctly.
That's right. That would be Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic has been conflicted, and she ends up ends up going back, helping Matrix, but she had for a little while been confused, and she ends up with the bad guys. She goes back to the good guys.
Yeah.
And,
so as you read this, you got to really pay attention, and if your mind wanders, you're going to lose what's going on.
Right, you got to pay attention. So I read the issue, and I read it I read all 4 of these like 3 times.
Yeah.
But Sonic is just, trying to make sure there's Sonic in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's Matrix.
You know what I noticed a little bit?
I love this Joe Bagden illustration.
Oh,
This
yeah.
page,
Great.
Brilliant artwork by Joe Bagden. Yeah.
I was going to say, if I can find it, I always lose what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe it was in this.
You got 4 issues to flip through also here.
Let me see if it's this one.
I don't know how many back issues that Sherman has, but
I think a lot, because
as many as you can.
I was in the small press syndicate with Sherman Burnett for a long time.
Right.
Lots of his comics. But this is something, this was in the Joe Bagden version, but the bad guys remind me of, the G.I. Joe bad guys?
Yeah.
They look a little bit like them. You see that?
Yeah.
Well, I forgot the name of the G.I. Joe bad guys, but whatever they were.
I didn't follow those that closely. But
Yeah,
there's some
anyway, they looked a little bit
like
like
that.
Something like that.
And
anyway, great stuff here from Sherman Burnett.
And every issue ends with a cliffhanger, and this is the one at the end of the latest issue.
Yep.
Where all these bad guys show up to face off against another bad guy, and they're all fighting for control of the city.
So I suggest, now these are only 50 cents a piece, can't go wrong. And they're about, 14, 15 pages each. So good little stories. Very cool.
Yeah, some of the best mini comics I've seen recently. That's for sure. And Sherman Burnett, he's still, I think he's still heading up the Facebook group, the Sherman Burnett Facebook, no, the Small Press Syndicate.
Small Press Syndicate, yeah.
I think Sherman's still in charge of that.
So.
Yeah. I know he is. Hi, Sherman. So,
all right, we got something else here. What do you want to look at next?
Well, we got Zombie Dave.
Zombie
Dave. Now, this is the first issue.
Yep, this is number 1, but it's number 1. I mean, he's done some of this before, but I think this is number 1 in this format, and of course in this year.
Well, I got a message here from Matt Decker, the artist and writer and publisher, and he says
from Lebanon, Missouri, by the way, not too far from St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a homeboy.
Yes, he is.
Homeboy, and he started Zombie Dave in 2009.
Yeah.
30 copies, and I guess it took off, so he printed more, and he keeps going back and printing. And guess what? It looks like there's 4 other issues out there somewhere. Matt, we'd like to see the more recent issues, if you don't mind.
I think this is the most recent issue right here.
What's he saying here? He's saying,
I believe,
I've been blessed to be able to add 4 subsequent issues. And I finished
maybe this is
in 2020 with issue number 5. So yes, he has done some other ones, but he sent us the first one.
Yeah, okay.
And
somehow I thought this was kind of a new beginning, but maybe
I mean, it looks new. But this one actually came out in 2018.
Okay, I misunderstood that then.
Yeah, but he does say in the message, if we want to see the other ones, let him know. Yep, Matt, we want to see the other ones. This is great.
So here's the funny thing. This is what's so interesting about this, and it's full color inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all full color.
Look at any page.
Now, Dave the Zombie is working for this company, and his job is to design T-shirts. Although he is one of the laziest zombies you will find, because he does everything but design the doggone T-shirts. And he plays this game. It's like a kind of a Dungeon and Dragons type game that he plays all day long when he's supposed to be working.
There it is. He's playing with the cards.
Yeah, he's supposed to be working. And of course, he's playing these games. And the owner, or I think he's the owner, is mad at him. You're not doing your job. Now, for some reason that I don't know, the owner has a shadow over his face at all times.
Yeah,
throughout
that's
the book.
interesting.
Throughout
the entire issue, and I haven't figured that out. Maybe if we read the other 4 issues, we can figure that out.
Maybe we would know why his head is always in a shadow.
Yeah.
But through the whole book, it is.
And he keeps, and the thing is, apparently they're working for an organization. I think it's Parasol Dynamics.
Yes.
It has something to do with unleashing zombies in the world and, unleashing a potential apocalypse or, whatever's going on here. But it's,
what happens here is I believe this card game that he's playing kind of comes to life. While he's involved in it, it kind of comes to life. We have
it's more than a card game.
This guy from the card game, there he is.
It opens the door to a supernatural realm.
Right.
It unleashes this guy.
Yeah. This guy comes out.
Cheetamunculus.
Yeah.
The destroyer of time.
And
he's this gorilla wizard.
This is why you can only do this stuff in comic books.
Right.
You can't do this anywhere else. And Matt Decker understands that that's what comic books are made for. This kind of story, because
and they're fighting. He and Cheetamunculus are fighting over the cards, especially one particular card that seems to be especially powerful. And here's Cheetamunculus is pleading with him, and somewhere over here I think he's snatching the card.
Yeah.
Yep. And smacking the zombie.
Look at that page.
But I think yeah, and God, look at this artwork and the coloring. Oh my God.
The artwork and the colors are beautiful. Very well beautiful. Done. It's 24 pages long, and the price is $5 for a 24 full color page comic book. And a story you're not going to find anywhere else. I'm almost guaranteed that.
Yeah.
That's one heck of a story.
And in case this particular page is pretty violent, but it's pretty descriptive. Dave is a zombie. He's doing what zombies do right there.
Yep, that's what they do.
And
they take
this
your
character,
head off.
the character in dark, he's number 9, like he's some sort of an agent or something, and he controls him. And they found out they tried different things to pacify these zombies to get them to stop eating human flesh. And what they finally settled on was pork rinds. And Dave loves pork rinds.
Yeah, I think everybody should know that. But anyway, pork rinds. Sock puppet is also in it, right there.
Sock puppet. Yeah, it looks like Thor. The Thor sock puppet. Puppet.
Right.
Sock, whatever it is, sock monkey.
Wild stuff. Excellent production. Really well done. Just really good.
Yeah, totally.
We'll have all his contact information in the description below. Good stuff.
This one's just pretty unique.
Yeah. Well, we got next up. How about unabashedly trashed?
Unabashedly trashed.
Unabashedly trashed by
Floyd
Sumner. And the cover is by Floyd Sumner.
This microphone and get a little better picture.
Yeah.
I can go on this side of the microphone or this side of the microphone.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. The microphone, I've got the same position now where the microphone isn't up in the picture like it was before, so I can show more of the cover now. And
but if you cover your mouth with the comic book, you won't get the microphone. It won't go to the mic.
It's got to be on this side.
Yes. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
It's taken us 21 episodes to get this all worked out, folks.
Yes. But this reminds me somewhat of Mad Magazine. A
Oh, it
little bit,
absolutely does. Some of it is very much
because
like Mad Magazine.
it looks a little like it, but it's quite a bit different.
And some of it's like,
It's a collection by a
let me
bunch of
see.
different cartoonists, including Floyd.
Well, what we got here is these are the artists that are on the those darn cards. Why am I drawing a blank?
I don't
The
know.
garbage pail cards
Oh, okay.
that Floyd was involved with. Sorry, Floyd. You know, I'm getting old, man. But the garbage pail kids. And all of these artists were involved in that series of cards.
Okay.
So that's what happened. I guess Floyd pulled them
He
all
must
together.
have got them all to contribute a
got 'em
little
all to-
something. So
to
you've got all
contribute to
kinds of
this.
stuff in here.
There's some interesting. I
Um,
like this one here. Boy, it's by who is it? Somebody named Stevens. Let me see. Boy and the Boogeyman. Mike Stevens. Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Little boy's in bed, and something opens the door, right?
Yeah.
And so he he opens
Now,
the
this
door.
one, look at this. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I just want the Boogeyman is there, and that's the Boogeyman.
Yeah, he is.
But okay, I guess I shouldn't tell you the end of the story, but it turns out the Boogeyman is not such a bad guy after all. He's just, well, I will kind of tell you, I guess, because they're running him, little boy and his teddy bear are running.
Running
But at
away.
the end, the Boogeyman ends up in the bed with the teddy bear because it turns out he's not such a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's just afraid of the dark.
There you go. Look at this, though, by Tom Bunk. And it's the story, or end of the story. Okay. But I challenge you to find a story in here.
Yeah, some of this stuff. Yeah, some
It's
of
worth it's worth trying to find the story. I never did find the story in here, but the artwork is fantastic.
right. Some of it's influenced by Robert Crumb and the Underground comics. Of
Oh,
the
I'm sure.
60s.
I am sure it is. Yeah. Look at that. And I think Tom Bunk has.
Yeah, this one
something
exactly.
in it.
This one is one of those. That's one of those. It looks a lot like the Underground comics.
Yeah. This will remind you of that. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one in particular reminded me of the cover of Cheap Thrills, the album by Janis Joplin and Big Brother and the Holding Company. It's in here somewhere, but like everything else, you can't find it when you're looking for it.
No.
But I'm just flipping through, folks. But here's another one like that. This one is by the same guy. It's just a different page.
That's what I was looking for that. I couldn't find it.
This one's towards the back. And yeah, I mean, you can look, I was looking all through this, and you can look through, there's so much detail in there.
Oh, you could look at that for a long time. There's all kinds of stuff in there.
I'm not sure what it all adds up to.
I don't know either, but it's very cool looking.
Yeah, it's fun. It's great fun to look at, and you'll spend a lot of time just looking at the little details in there.
Here's a nice looking zombie. Born to Kill.
Yeah. Who drew that? Was that Floyd? It wasn't.
Who that's by, but
I know the inside back cover was by Floyd.
this is Floyd. Yes, the inside back cover is Floyd.
Floyd Sumner. In the old days, we used to call him Robert Sumner. I guess
Oh.
it's Robert Floyd Sumner.
Okay. Nice work though. Look at that.
Yeah, really nice.
Good cartooning.
Yeah, he's
And this is
amazing.
About 37 pages.
I should back that light up a little bit there.
And let me look if he says how much it is here.
There's so much crazy stuff. Let's see here. This one here, retro refracto sparkle cards right here. This one, all these people are coming to get these cards, okay? The cards are here. and they're coming from, out of space here, and out of the sky, and down on the ropes. They're coming up through the floor.
Yeah.
Here and everywhere. And it's an unsavory lot of people, right? There's there's vomit right here, and you got to stay away from that. And so, but this is the kind of craziness you got from it's a madness unleashed from the Garbage Pail Kids gang. So
Yeah, really, pretty
these
neat.
guys are
That's got some stuff in it. It really does.
totally offbeat and irrelevant. And yeah, you want to talk about who did this one? The Top Loader of Terror. This looks like EC Comics. Was that Floyd?
I'm not sure.
Top Loader of Terror.
There's something, this looks like I've seen this work before, but I'm not sure. Lowell Isaac. I don't know if I've seen that. Does that look familiar, that style?
The one on the left or the one on the right?
One on my
Your
finger.
left.
Yeah, my finger.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Like,
it looks,
like I say,
it
these
looks
all guys
familiar to me, but maybe
these guys
I'm.
all did. Oh, it's called Flipped Out. The story's Flipped Out, and I think it's by Floyd.
That one,
I'm
the one you're
thinking
looking
about.
at. This one is
Yeah, it's
by
Floyd.
Lowell Isaac.
So you want to talk about a mad influence and EC Comics influence and everything.
Yeah.
Here it is right here.
Right there.
And that's Floyd, and he's got the style dead on. Looks like something straight out of Tales from the Crypt. But again, it has to do with collecting cards, and it's not what you expect it to be when you start out. There's this insane little boy who's obsessed with collecting cards. You see him right there.
Yeah.
Well, somehow he ends up falling in love, and that changes everything. So what can I tell you?
Happy ending. Very happy
Yeah,
ending.
it's kind of like my life,
Here's one called Eerie. And this is by.
There's so much in this book.
I lost
So
it.
much.
I just looked at it and already lost it.
It
Brandon Snyder.
Brandon Snyder. Yep,
Yeah.
that's him. Yep, Brandon Snyder.
Yeah.
So
And that's goes on for a few pages here.
some of the craziest, most irreverent stuff you ever saw in your life, like the Garbage Pail Kids series of cards. This is great. It's by the same guys, and it's the same quality, and the Floyd man pulls it all together.
Yeah.
And does his usual terrific job. So.
And he says he's going to do another issue, and you can contribute to it if you want to. So there you go.
Well, I have to put on my demented cap. Start working on that one. But yeah, just a brilliant, a lot of brilliant work.
Yeah, really good, really neat. I love this kind of stuff. I love, so it's really neat.
Nothing you can show to your mom and say, "Hey, mom, look, this is why I'm into comics,"
Yeah, right.
But it's still cool.
Now, of course, if you want to find out more about comics than just our show, we have the Xenology Report.
From Alan Sissom.
And that's from Alan Sissom. And this will remind you of the old days when all we had was little zines like this to tell us about what kind of comics were out there.
Yeah.
He reviews the comics, puts some pictures in from the pages of the comics, does a write-up on them, and it's very well done.
He reviews some of the stuff that we reviewed. We reviewed, including Tom Feldrath's Heroics Past.
Yeah, that was one of the ones we did.
Yeah.
And coming up in our next show, I will just tell you there's an article in here about Jeff Wood. And Jeff Wood sent us a package of comics, and it will be in our next show. So keep an eye out for that. And if you should get this first, read about it, and then when we have the comics, you can see them.
It's a letter. That's a letter from Jeff there, and there's a picture of Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And he sent quite a package.
he's eating
Really a lot of
he's eating
stuff.
the Xenology report.
Yeah.
Yep. Jeff and I met at the Chicago convention in '86 and '87. Sometimes I
really?
reference that couple of years because we had a huge small press contingent at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Main was there, Larry Blake was there, Jeff Wood was there, and a bunch of us guys shared the same room. We were the guys I just mentioned. We were all in the same room, and a bunch of other guys, some of whom aren't around anymore, some of whom went on to become professionals or whatever, professionals.
Yeah.
I consider we're all professionals. We've been doing this for so long.
We just don't make any money at it.
Yeah, some people just make
professional
more
does
money.
That's the only difference.
Yeah,
We don't
really,
make a dime,
really,
but they do.
because the thing about small press is it's not about working for a big company. It's not about making a lot of money. It's not about they're making movies with your heroes in there, which would be cool.
Now, don't forget, a couple of people have made movies, which is Matt Fizzell. He made a movie of his character, and Kel Crum is working on a movie. So there's movies in small press too. You just have to find them.
Alan Freeman makes movies too.
Alan Freeman made a movie. He certainly did. And his movie won some movie festival awards. First place comedy in some of the festivals.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
And I got some of his stuff saved that I want to watch later. I can't think of the name of it right now. But
I was going to mention too, in our next show coming up, we've got Dark Girl by Floyd Lewis, and Strange Chaotic World by Rob Cooley.
And Chaotic World.
Yeah.
You got to slow down when you say that one. By Rob Cooley.
Right.
One of the coolest guys I know in the small press.
Anyway, that's what's coming up in the next show, which will be probably in another week. And who knows what we have after that? We know we have. I wish I could
interviews
talk.
coming up.
This microphone is. If it would help me talk, it would be much better. But anyway, we're going to have some interviews coming up too. So we talked to a couple people who said yes, they would like to come on and ruin their reputation by being on our show. So that will be coming up also. Yep. So keep an eye out for that.
If you don't mind me saying, there's a potential, it looks like we might be interviewing Steve Shipley.
Yep.
Steve's had some health problems over the last couple of years, the last several years, but it looks like he's back on the up and mend now, and he said he's interested in, hopefully we'll be talking to Steve very soon. He's got a long and illustrious, career in small press. He's done so much great stuff,
Great watercolorist also.
Yeah.
Beautiful watercolors.
Yeah. The stuff he's doing now is better than anything he's ever done. And he's like even older than me.
Is he?
A couple of years older than me. He's an old pal. We share the same birthday. We're both born on April 20th. And we go way back. He I think he contributed to Om #1, which is my first zine of any real substance in small press. And long time pal. So it'd be cool. We were going to schedule an interview with him a few months ago, but he fell ill again. Yeah. And but he's doing better, and that's good news.
Oh yeah, great. So okay, I don't think we have anything else. You had one more thing, didn't you, to go over? Did you? Well,
I did mention after that.
Yeah, which I had got before Steve got it. And I did it without Steve, so he's going to do this one without me, which would probably be better.
You can chime in.
Okay.
But it's Micah Leisenfield. He's got a new mini comic with an interview with Dimitri Jackson.
Yeah. And
Dimitri Jackson, he has a web comic called what's it called? Black Wax
Boulevard.
Black Wax Boulevard. It's about a record store.
And he's been doing a lot of music. Yeah.
He's been doing this for quite a while. And if you go to the website, it's just as you see one amazing page of artwork after another. And not only that, it's a comic that makes you think. He talks about like in this interview here, and Micah Leisenfeld interviews him, and he talks about well, different generations of people who get into music, but they become kind of splinter. They, like, one generation thinks they're cooler than the previous generation. And what happens is every new generation thinks they're rebelling against what came before. So a group of people think, well, that's cool, so they fall in with this new generation, and then they all end up liking the same music or buying the same music, dressing the same way, talking the same way, you know, with the latest hip slogans, whatever it is they're saying. And the thing is, what they're doing is they're becoming just like the generations that were previous. And and he points that out. Dimitri Jackson points that out in the interview. You know, part of what you see in the comics is this sort of thing happening, and you can, you know, judge for yourself. But that's what happens. You know, every generation thinks they're cooler. It thinks they're rebelling, but they're all becoming part of a clique of people who are just like they are. So they're not being individuals.
Not quite as we. They're not quite the outlaws they think
their parents did, or whoever. And I thought that was fascinating about this interview. It was a great interview.
What a great cartoonist! Wow, he's really good.
Yeah, and he's such a superb cartoonist. But you could check that Blackswack Boulevard, the website. Just type that in, and you'll find it.
Wax Boulevard.
Wax Boulevard. Black Wax. That's records. So. And there's just a lot of great stuff. Great artwork. The stories are great. The dialogue is great, and it makes you think. Yep.
Nice.
So.
And he's from St. Louis, which is
there you go.
Another good point.
Another homeboy.
Yes.
Right.
Well, the clock on the wall says that Zoom is going to kick us off the air.
Yeah, that's about it.
Because they don't have a free service anymore. This one is 40 minutes long, and if you want it longer, you got to pay for it. So we haven't done that.
You don't have to pay for it, but we would.
No, you wouldn't, unless you'd like to donate to us, which is another story completely.
There you go.
So we have a way around that, but this time I think we're going to end just about right on time. So. All right, now you make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notifications button, because that's going to tell you when our next episode is on. So we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to episode 22 of Talking Small Press Comics with Steve Keeter and me, Larned Justin. That was Steve that pointed to his head, in case you didn't know. Yeah, that's him pointing at me.
Wow.
Well, okay, let's get started. You said you had something you wanted to do right off the bat, so let's do that.
Just, my pal, Jim Main, who I've known for like 50 years.
Yeah, I met Jim Main before. I've met him.
Seriously, for a long time. He was the chairman of the UFO numerous times. We used to go back and forth. You know, one year he was the chairman, the next year I was the chairman. It just kept going back and forth. And we revived the BPP as a separate co-op in the early 2000s. But he's been publishing Posit, for instance, since 1972.
Amazing.
Anyway, I have a copy of Posit #1 here in faded purple ditto. I'm not going to break that out right now. It would take a lot of work to look through all them zines. But Jim He just wanted us to mention that if you need to get in touch with him, his PC crashed, and he's using his wife's computer. And if you need to send him anything, if you need to contact him at the Gmail address, mainjim23@gmail.com.
Okay.
It's in here somewhere.
Yeah, I see it there. Yeah.
Backward.
I'll put that in the description of this video.
And
he also asked that everybody send him their address, because he's lost everybody's address.
He lost everything when the PC crashed.
So I sent him mine, and
so did I.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, he's lost. That's terrible. I hate that.
So he's starting from scratch, and he's using his wife's computer, and he's lost a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But somehow Jim is he's working on let me see what he says here. He's working on Posit number 50.
Well, isn't it Heroic coming out? Isn't that the thing that's...
This one is Heroic. This is something else he's getting ready to publish. Tom Felrath publishes...
Right, but
Heroic.
Jim, I think, did it before.
Well, I mean, they're actually different zines with the same title. Jim published Heroic way back in
they're quite different. And, they're really different. Yeah.
And Tom asked, could he use that title when Jim retired it, and so Tom published Heroic, and now Jim's publishing another Heroic again.
Yeah.
I printed this out because it's not out yet, but it should be out any day now.
Yeah.
And
but they're different. They're very different. So just happen to have the same name.
And it's a milestone for Jim that he's going to be publishing Posit number 50. In fact, number 49, it should be back from the printer anytime, he says. He's going to send us a copy, so we'll be able to review that soon. And then number 50, he's looking for contributions for that issue. And gee whiz, I probably should do something.
Yeah.
It's a milestone.
Yeah, probably should too.
Yeah.
Maybe we can draw some stick men or something.
Whatever.
I don't want to do a lot of work,
But he's an old pal. I mean, we've even published the same comics. I mean, I published and he published and then went back to me.
Oh, really?
We've gone back and forth on several titles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Jim, you asked us to mention it. We mentioned it, and all best. And we're looking forward to that Posit number 50. We're looking forward to 49 as well. But
yeah,
he's retired now. Lucky guy.
Yeah, join me. Yeah,
I'm semi-retired.
Yeah, I know it's getting close for you.
Yeah, well, I'm getting Medicare now.
Oh, good.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Where are we going from here?
Well, let's get started let's go with Dart Girl.
Okay, we got Dart Girl here.
This is Dart
Floyd
Girl,
Lewis.
and this is Dart Girl number 1 from Floyd Lewis. And guess when this was published? 1979.
1979. This is a reprint.
This is a reprint. There's actually 2. Back then it was 25 cents, and there's actually 2 comics in here. Each one was 25 cents.
Right.
And Dart Girl is the first story. And, it's, let's face it, he had to be pretty young in 1979.
Yeah. And this is the
unless
best
he's as old as me.
Where she's like almost naked.
Yeah, pretty much through the whole thing. And she's kind of
if you were
depressed.
young in 1979, that's where your mind was.
Yeah. Yes. If he was a teenager, 14, 15 years old, of course that's where his mind was.
But it's pretty cool to see it all these years later. And the artwork stands the test of time. I mean,
actually, for that, I think the artwork is not bad at all for somebody that had to be pretty young when he did it. Yeah, and then the other story in here is done a little different style. Let me get into it. It's a little different style.
Very dark with a lot of lines.
Right.
and it's
This
very
this
effective.
story here pretty unusual. You hate to give it away, but there's a real twist in the end of this story. Yeah.
Right. There's an ironic
Yeah.
twist at the end.
Yeah. I don't even know how that would be possible. The twist. I don't see how it would be possible, but you guys get the book for $1 and you figure it out.
Here's the deal: is a boy sitting in front of his TV watching TV.
Yes.
He sees an image of this beautiful woman,
Mm-hmm.
and he can't get it out of his mind.
Right.
So
Even
he's
after he gets married, he can't get it out of his mind.
he's married.
Yeah,
So
he's
like,
married and he's still
connect with this woman?
infatuated with this girl. But I'm not going to tell you what happens because that would ruinate it.
But it's quite a surprise ending.
Yeah.
And, that story's
And
a lot of fun.
also, Floyd has done the Batman Technical Manual, where he has kind of like blueprints of all the Batman equipment, the Batmobile, the motorcycle there,
Yeah.
the layout of the cave. It's all in here.
The Adam West version, but all the stuff that was on the TV series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
It's all,
this must be obviously more recent.
I would assume. You've got the boat. Look at that. There's the boat.
Yeah, the boat. Yeah, the Bat boat. Yeah, that was in the movie.
Yeah.
That
And
Batman movie that Adam West did.
it could be that he includes this free. I don't know that, but there's no price or anything on it. It may come free if you order Dark Girl, you know.
There's the Bat Cave.
Yeah, Bat Cave.
Diagram.
Awesome. And then he included with mine, he included this 8x11 sheet, which says on here that he is looking for Dark Girl #2 from 1979, and he can't. He's asking people if they have a copy. He doesn't have his copy anymore, and he's asking if people would, if they have it, to let him know.
That's
He would
tragic.
really appreciate it.
Something you published years ago that you really
1979 again.
means
I
a
was
lot
the
to you.
second issue.
you
Yeah.
don't have it anymore.
No.
I've been looking for the UFO newsletter, the BPP newsletter. When I took over the group,
Hmm.
Carl Gafford published 6 issues, and I took it over in the early 70s, and his was volume 1. I was volume 2. Number 1 was a newsletter I published, only 2 pages long, and I sent it out to a lot of people.
You can't find it now.
I've lost my copy. I can't find it to save my life. I don't know what happened. I wish I had it.
Yeah. Something else that's on here. There's at the bottom of this page, there's a computer generated cartoon called Ricochet McGlade. You see it right here on the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's computer generated. Basically, the figures are.
Floyd
But
is
he
brilliant
does
at this
this
kind of stuff.
for Joe Bagden. Joe
Mhm.
Bagden's comics. He features some of these in his comic.
Yeah.
And we reviewed Joe Bagden's comic, and we saw that.
See the other
We
side.
looked at it, and we said, boy, that's pretty neat. And sure enough, it was Floyd Lewis that did it.
Yeah, but it didn't connect. We didn't know that. So
No, we didn't know it at the
He
time.
was doing something
on the
different here.
back,
But
He has a computer generated complete little story, but this
Yeah.
is also animated on his webpage.
Marvin on the Bridge.
Yeah,
No.
it's animated on his webpage.
I got to go back. I went to his webpage, and for some reason I couldn't find it. I have to go back. and
Oh,
look
you could spend hours on his webpage.
again. Yeah.
There's tons of stuff on there. It's really pretty cool. I mean, you could sit there for a couple hours looking through that stuff. There's all kinds of stuff on there. So keep
Very
that
cool.
in mind. I'll get that on the description also.
And we enjoyed
So-
this one a lot.
Dark Girl. Yeah, pretty cool. And pretty old, but pretty cool.
Pretty old, but there's a lot of stuff that stands the test of time. It's got the extra Batman stuff, and and it's a new edition. So technically it's
And-
old but new.
Yeah, and we've got more Floyd Lewis coming up in the next episode. So he's already sent us some more stuff. Good for
Sure.
Floyd.
Yep.
Up next, how about Strange and Chaotic World? Strange and Chaotic World.
From Rob Cooley.
Rob Cooley, yes, sir.
Yep. Rob
It's
ran
just-
into a little bit of trouble with his printer.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't working, and I volunteered to jump in and help him print this issue. So
Very
I had a
nice
hand in
job.
this, but I didn't. He did all the artwork and story.
And this is episode 15 or issue 15,
Right. Rob
which
has
is a
been
little
publishing
a bit of a
series.
disadvantage for me trying to review this because I don't know what happened in all the other issues. They're continuing. And when you have continuing issues, if you don't get them all, you're going to miss the story.
Yeah, the
So
only
for
thing that was
me-
really missing, the artwork is great. And the only thing that was really missing was a recap. I would
Yeah,
suggest
there's
that
no
Rob next time
recap,
put a little
so
recap. So
It
people,
starts out in Russia, I know that, and then switches over into something going on in Texas
Texas.
with the same
Right.
characters. And Rob's style is this
Very
character on the left is in Russia, and you'll notice he has a ponytail. But when that same character is in Texas, he does not have the ponytail.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I don't think
something
it's the same
I
character.
noticed because his artwork is a little similar. So if you look over at the far right, that's the sheriff. And his distinction is he has some gray hair. But they do look similar. So you got to kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But it's
But
cool
the-
artwork. It's different, very different.
Well, the story it takes place in the future. It's a
Right.
post-apocalyptic world. People are trying to survive. There's a virus that's killing people, and
Wonder what that would
worldwide
be.
virus pandemic.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, you get people trying to survive. And in spite of all this, even though everything's in ruins, you still got countries that are fighting against each other. And Russia against the U.S. For whatever's left, the politicians just can't give it up. I mean,
Now, the main character, is he referred to as the captain?
mhm,
The main character here?
yep.
So he's the captain. I want to make sure I understood who he was, but he's referred to as the captain,
Mhm.
I believe. And he's kind of a muscular guy.
Yeah, I think he's. I'm drawing a blank here, but his name is Samson, something like Samson.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look at the other
Yeah, I don't-
books
I
that
don't-
Rob sent me, but that's
Yeah.
why he's called that. And yeah, there's a lot of just intrigue going on here.
Yeah. There's quite a
And-
bit to it, and it would, like you say, it would help to have seen the previous issues, and I'm sorry I haven't.
Yeah. But this will hold us over, and Rob says he's got more stuff coming out.
Good.
So
Always
this is a
good.
series that's been going on for quite a while in several different titles that Rob publishes.
Mhm.
And this is the latest one, and I think he's got something else coming out really soon.
Cool. All right.
So
Cooley, as a matter of fact. Rob Cooley.
this lady's sort of a romantic interest.
Yeah, she's a Russian.
He's from
and,
Russian. From
yeah.
Russia, yep.
Yeah. So that's that one. Now, I hope everybody knows who Bob Corby is. Because we have plans number 1 and number 2 from Bob Corby.
Bob Corby.
And if you don't know who Bob Corby is, have you ever heard of Space, the small press comic show in Columbus Bob Corby is the guy that does the tremendous amount of work to put it together and put the show on. And I've met him, each time I've been there. Very nice guy, and does a lot of work for small press to put that show on. And he's even been forced to change venues a number of times and at the last minute. And I don't know how he did it all. I really don't. But
He's a longtime small presser. I mean, he's definitely, he's
yeah,
enthusiastic, and what he does to promote small press, I mean, you can't overstate it. He's just
and he goes to shows and other shows. I always see that he's going to a show somewhere, and but putting on Space every year is a big job. But let's take a look here at plans.
I wish I could have made it this year. I know Tom Felrath was there. My friend Michael Nemo was there. And lots of other small press people.
Yeah, I would have liked to have gone too, but my wife had knee surgery and I couldn't leave her.
Yeah.
So, anyway, here's plans 1. And this, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories in here.
Right.
And the first one is Devil and Mr. Rift.
Devil and Mr. Rift.
Mr. Rift is a musician, so the name
he is with the guitar.
Yeah, you can see him with the guitar.
That must be the devil.
Yeah, and that's the devil. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's interesting on page 2, if you look at page 2 here and read the bottom panel, read what the devil says. Read what he says. Mr. what?
Mr. Root?
Yeah, I think Bob may have put R's in there instead of F's.
Mr. Rift. Mr. Root?
Yeah.
Cool, buddy. It's been a while.
I think Bob put R's in there instead of F's. It's supposed to be Mr. Rift, I believe.
And the devil is as usual clever, completely evil, because he is in fact the devil.
Yes.
Himself, and
kind of morphs into different things here.
We have a giant Cthulhu type of character that appears. And
look at the artwork, though.
Artwork, his artwork is really smooth.
Wow.
I like what he does.
Yeah.
The textures that Bob achieves and everything.
Oh man, yeah, really.
So nice, so nice.
Then he has a color story called Vogs right here.
Pucs, is that right?
Yeah, or Vugs. Let me look at in the front here.
It's
Vugs. Vugs, not Vogs. Vugs.
I'm colorblind, so it's a little hard for me to differentiate the color.
Colors.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, look at the sunflower. Yeah.
Right, the sunflower.
Yeah.
There's a lady with a mask on.
Yeah. And a sunflower. And an emergency call from 9/11. What is your emergency?
Emergency call.
Yeah. And I don't know what the emergency was, but it ends with this.
Yeah.
So we've just showed you the whole story. But
yeah,
you still have to buy the book.
That's okay. It's a short one. It's in the middle.
There's
of the
other
book.
stories in here. Gremlin is in here. So you got, that's about a 4 or 5 page story. And then you got.
This is an interesting character. This Gremlin guy. He appears in the second issue too. He's like a little short guy.
Yeah, little guy.
High. And he has all sorts of adventures, and he goes all over the place, and it's sort of.
We have also Ian and Alien. This is Ian and Alien right here.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out. I thought he was like Alien, but he's
I had to go look in the front. And he says it's
Ian.
Yeah, Alien and Ian, I believe is what it is.
And this is cool. It's a couple of alien guys.
Or Al and Ian.
Special rapper.
Yeah. Lots of cool stuff. Wild.
And they go. They're out trying to sell. They're actually trying to sell magazine subscriptions door to door.
Yes, in space,
The two
somewhere in the
idiot guys
universe.
are going door to
Yeah.
door.
Now, I'm not buying a comic from a guy that looks like that. I can tell you
Right.
that right now.
And they go to the door, and this guy, they open the door. The guy says,
Oh, I'd slam the door too, you
slam
know?
the door. And I think this must be Bob. This must be
I
a
think that's Bob
self-portrait.
in the back, and that's done on clay scratchboard, I believe, he says.
Very nice. Really
Mhm.
nice.
Playboard. Yeah.
So, and he
I
appears
think
again
that's
on the
Bob.
back cover.
And then, you know, ALS is the charity he supports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has that on the cover also of issue. Well, it was in issue number 2. Yeah, on the inside back cover.
Yes. Yeah, these books are in support of ALS. There's the association. So this is plans 2 right here.
Plans 2 is even better.
And look at the hairdo on that girl.
And here she is. And
There she is, yeah.
another part of the Gremlin saga.
Yeah, this is part of Gremlin again.
Look at that. That's
There's
nice.
Gremlin. Yeah.
So.
And that's a pretty long story.
Yeah, and there's a romance. You think this little gremlin guy, this little short, weird-looking gremlin guy, but it seems he has a love interest here.
Uh-huh. Yep.
He has this love interest, and she tells him, you know, she says, like, I love you, no matter what you look. He said, you know, should I reveal myself the way I really looked? And he's like, well, somewhere in here. But she says, I love you no matter how you look. So he starts to grow.
Uh-huh.
And he ends up being this sort of semi-handsome prince guy. And as you can see, there's the romance.
There it is right there. But on the last page, it says to be continued. So that story is going on.
This story.
Then look at this, the city.
Yeah.
Bob does some interesting things.
Yeah.
Here he's got realistic backgrounds with figures in them, cartoon figures in the realistic backgrounds.
Yeah, kind of a change of style and
really, yeah,
and a poignant story too.
Mm-hmm.
About a family, 2 people in love, and they moved there with their children. They moved to the city.
It's only 1 page, so I'm not going to show you too much of it, but it is 1 page.
And then Bob goes full color.
Pansies. Yes, this is Pansies with featuring Bob, I believe.
There he is. That looks like Bob to me.
Yeah,
that's like Bob. Him. You know, when I got this and I said, is that Bob? I went on his Facebook page and looked for photographs. Said, yeah, okay, that's Bob.
Yeah, that's Bob. Yeah. Now that's a 2-page story, so we can't show you too much of that. And then we go back to Mr. Rift and the Demon. So anyway, Mr. Rift is the Demon a little different in this version of Mr. Rift. You notice that?
Yeah, this is a likable demon. This demon's kind of funny.
Yeah, he's a little different. So
where is he? Right there. Yeah, the thing he's a he pops in and Mr. Rift says, "Can I help you?" And it looks like he's stuck in a little bubble or something. He helps him get out of the bubble. I could use a little help here. And so he helps him get out of this little bubble spear or whatever. And then he's, can I help you?
Yeah.
So let's see what the demon says. He says, I'm looking for followers. Come on, look at me. A minor demon, diminutive stature. I need worshipers to bulk up.
Oh, doesn't everybody?
Easily influenced souls over there.
Mm-hmm.
So then if you look at this, he's a happy little demon.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, for an evil guy, he's really handsome, really happy, and really likable.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Mr. Riff says, he says, my name's Ginger. He's shaking his hand. Name's Ginger, the eternal tormentor. He says, "You're not going to stop me." And Mr. Riff says, "No, you might be useful at some point and keep some of those souls away from worse things." Anyway, they kind of make friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of. If you can be friends with a demon.
And the demon guy, he's a little, he's a little goofy. He
Yeah,
wanders off.
I don't know who he's talking to out there in the alley. Got run over, I guess.
Yeah, well, either that or he fell down a stair or something. He ran into something.
Something happened to him.
And that was it. He was gone.
Yeah.
But
walked out in the alley and disappeared.
How many happy demons do you see?
Not too many. And here is Sam goes to the supermarket.
And this is weird too.
This is very strange also. Bob's been having some very weird dreams, I think.
So Sam is a skeleton.
Yeah, Sam's a skeleton.
Look, see, he left his robe open here, and he's like, "Uh-oh." So he covers back. He's embarrassed because he left his robe open, and he's a skeleton, so he covers up.
Probably not too bad to do that. But he is wearing a mask, which is important, for a skeleton to wear a mask. And you want to catch anything at the grocery store.
Right. He goes shopping.
Yeah, he's shopping at the grocery store. And of course, he screws the whole thing up.
Yeah, he has a close encounter with
He
a
knocks
human.
over a bunch of stuff, and like skeletons always do,
He has an encounter with a lady who's shopping with a big shopping cart.
Yeah, bad driver. The supermarket's full of bad drivers,
Yeah, because then he wanders. He manages to. He winds up at the pharmacy.
Yeah, and I think that's you there going to give him a COVID shot.
That could be me.
I think so.
And the mask, so you can't see the mustache.
You can't see the mustache, but I'm pretty sure that's you.
He's there for a COVID shot.
Yeah, he's at CVS.
The pharmacist says, "Okay, where do I stick this?"
That's a good question on a skeleton, I've often wondered that. In fact, I lay awake at night worrying about that.
That is an absolute challenge. How do you give a vaccination to a skeleton?
I don't know. You should know. You're the guy.
I've never vaccinated a skeleton before.
See Bob.
I hope I never have to.
Really? Yeah. Okay, what do you got there?
We got a beautiful back cover by
Oh,
Bob.
yeah. Very cool. Look at that. Beautiful.
Full color. So, Bob is a great guy, extremely talented.
He's got one more here that you don't have. Let me show you.
Yeah,
this
you
is
have something
Felicia's request. And Steve didn't get this one. But what this is, let me see if I can explain this. Every year, Jake Parker posts a list of drawing prompts called Inktober. You can see it here. And there's one for every day of October. And you are challenged to do an ink drawing of the word every day in October and publish it someplace. So what Bob did, he made a little story. He not only drew the word, he made it into a story. And that's what this zine is. There's no words other than the word itself at the bottom of the page, like it says fish here on this one. And you can see there's a fishbowl guy there right there. And there is a story to it, but I was unable to determine what the story is. But I think there's a story to it. It's a space story. And but he uses every word and draws. Every day he drew one of these ink drawings to form a story. And that's what this
is all
book
Bob,
is.
right? This is all Bob's work here?
It's all Bob's. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah,
Really
all
nice.
the way through.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah.
And it's Back Porch Comics. That's his brand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the back page. And, you should go to space just to meet Bob. I mean, he's a great guy. He won't have any time to talk to you, but you should go.
Right. Well, I missed it this year. I mean, right up to the last minute, I was thinking about going. Tom Felrath and I were going to share a table. Tom showed up there, but I wasn't able to make it. But I guarantee, Bob, I'll be there next year. And I'm talking to some of my pals. Larned might be there. He's
I
talking
might
about
be
it.
able to go too. I'd like to. I've been a
Jim
number of
Maine, maybe.
times and always enjoyed it. And, you know,
So some of our pals, if we're going to go, we're going to tell our friends, let's descend on space.
yes. Whoa, that would be something.
There,
wouldn't
and
it?
I think we can make next year a big event. I mean, it would really be
The
great.
thing is, I'll bring
We owe
my
it to
video
Bob.
camera. I'll bring my video camera. We'll do a show from space.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I have one of those too. I got a Sony camcorder.
There you go. So I'll bring mine. You bring
Yeah, so
yours.
you want to do what? You want to do the small press show from space? Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah,
Sure.
that would be
There's
cool.
a lot of ways to do it. We could do it. So yeah.
Yeah,
we'll think
so
about
I'm
that.
definitely it's at the top of my list. You know, for next
Yeah, I don't
year,
know.
space.
With me living in St. Louis and you're down in Florida, I don't know how we could meet up. We'd have to drive separate, I would think.
No, I'll catch a plane. Well, I'll get there.
Yeah.
Might not be in Florida next. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, okay. Well, you might be in
I
California.
got a girlfriend on the West Coast.
I
so
know you might be in California.
could be, or I might be in Colorado. I mean, there's possibilities.
All right.
Just some stuff that's in the work. You guys can like, what is Steve talking about?
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
but Bob did send me the program.
Oh yeah, the
for
program.
SpaceCon 2022, and it's a program. It shows you the layout of the
Tables
convention.
and all that. Yeah.
But it's got a few small press comics in it as well. Who's this one by? This one is by Christopher Williams, superhero. So yeah, Bob puts in a little bit of a
Wow. Nice
cool
artwork.
comics. That is nice. I like that a lot. I think our pal Kel Crum is in here somewhere. If I
think he
find
is
him.
too. Yeah.
I know I saw it earlier.
I don't know if
Right,
Kel
I can't
looks at
find
our
it, right.
show.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
how
know
it
if
goes.
Kel
Here
looks
it
at our
is.
show, but he should.
Kel Crum,
Yes.
one of the funniest people
Ed
on the
Thud.
face of the planet.
Oh yeah. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Cornelia. Cornelia is
you can't miss. That's Kel, and as soon as you see it, you know that's him.
Cornelia is his main character, but Ed Thud also comes along. Yeah.
So this is cool.
Yeah.
This is cool.
You know, Kel is doing a movie, a Cornelia movie.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're working on it. Yes, sir. Yep.
Totally
If I
would
was
love to see that.
If I was in Ohio, I'd want to be in the movie, but I'm not. So.
Gee, wonder who's going to do the voice.
I don't know. I think maybe. Well, no. I think he's got an actress to do Cornelia. Yeah.
That is superb. That's superb.
Yeah. Well, next, Jeff Wood has sent us a bundle.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah. You might have one more than me, but I have three. Three.
I got a bunch. I'll just show you one thing, though, I thought was very nice of him to do. It's a notebook paper, and it is a original drawing in pencil that he did and sent with his comics to me. Look at that. Isn't that cool?
Jeff Style.
Yeah. And he signs that Joff. You know, the formal Jeff.
Yeah, with a G.
Joff.
The G, Jeff, the English spelling.
And he's also sent another little card with some artwork on it. Very nice, original stuff.
Nice originals, yeah.
You can't have it because I got
Jeff
it.
is such a good artist, and I've known Jeff, gosh, since the '80s. He was actually a former chairman of the UFO, but it goes way back. We met. In fact, we shared a room at the Chicago Comic Convention in 1986.
Well,
Jeff and Jim Main,
1986.
1986, yeah.
Speaking
Jeff
of
and Jim
19,
Main and I and a bunch of other small pressers who slept on the floor in the bathroom or wherever you could find a
well,
spot.
you
We had
weren't
like 12 people in that room.
much younger then, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sleeping on the floor in 86 is a lot different than sleeping on the floor in 2022.
Right.
Tell you that.
I wouldn't want to do that right now.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be aching for like several days
Yeah.
afterwards. I'd be over. Oh, man.
But speaking of 1986, he sent Fandom Team Up 2 from 1986.
Yeah.
And this is a team up between Jeff Wood and Larry Blake.
And I have the original somewhere. This is a
Oh my gosh, really?
But yeah, I have the original. I mean, I had it from way back then. I mean, that was a
Mhm.
big event. Fandom
Yeah.
Team Up. There was 2 issues of Fandom Team Up, and this was the second one. The first issue was, I'm forgetting, but it was a couple other guys who were equally talented. But
Yeah.
this was cool. But what I like about the reprint is the notes that he puts at the bottom of every
Right.
single page.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Very
He
cool.
goes into depth. And
But Larry Blake was at his height, I think, when he did this.
Larry Blake's
Yeah.
art is superb here, and so is
Oh,
Jeff.
fantastic artist. Now, I don't know, it may say in here, and I may have missed it, if they worked on separate pages or drew their own figures in each panel, or I don't know how they did it exactly.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. It's been so long, but
Yeah.
I can tell definitely. I see a lot of Larry's writing style when I was reading it through.
Yes.
Who wrote this and who wrote that? And I think.
And of
they
course,
both
Larry's
wrote it,
character
part
is
of it,
Nightshade. That's
which
his
is
character.
Nightstar now.
Nightshade, I think.
Right at that time, the character was called Nightshade, but what was it, DC or somebody? I think DC had a character called Nightshade, and
Oh,
they threatened to sue Larry
okay.
over the name. After this, no kidding.
Really?
After that, those guys. After
Yeah.
this, he
Well,
changed
what are you going to get?
Nightstar.
Can you tell me what you're going to get out of a small pressed cartoonist?
Right? Yeah, like he made a
What,
lot of
5
money.
cents?
We're gonna get back everything you made on this comic.
Oh yeah, they're going to really make out. But this is awesome artwork from both these guys. And it's, from way back. It's got action panels. It's got all kinds of stuff in it.
Gosh, the artwork
And
is
it's
just superb.
Oh yeah,
Whether it's Jeff Wood or Larry Blake,
yeah.
they both. Here's something from Jeff Wood where Nightstar actually meets Jeff Wood, or Nightshade,
Mm-hmm.
and Jeff drew that one.
And here's one where Larry Blake himself is featured. Right there. That's Larry in 1986.
Yep. He becomes a character in the stories.
Yeah, he's in the story. He
Every
calls
week
himself, what the heck's his name in here? Can't find it when you want it. But his name's not Larry Blake in the story, but that is Larry Blake.
It's Lar Eckel, the creator. Lar Eckel, which is a variation on Larry Blake, is the guy who created Nightshade.
Okay.
He happens to look exactly like Larry Blake, with the long hair and everything, the bell bottom.
Yeah.
Lar Eckel was the guy who created Nightshade. This story explains a lot. It explains a lot about who they are.
And we haven't mentioned much about Snow Bunny, but that's Jeff's character.
Snow Bunny
about Larry, but Snow Bunny.
It's actually explained that Snow Bunny is actually a human being.
Yeah, she just had bunny ears.
Yeah, she's a different species of human being.
But,
like Neanderthal was a different species, right? But they happen to have bunny tail and bunny ears.
Yeah, as you can see her on the cover, on this side.
Mm-hmm.
That's Snow Bunny right there, and of course she's on the back. There's Snow Bunny on the back, along with Nightstar or Nightshade, whatever.
Yeah, they're up against some sinister maniac.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Always.
maniac, mad scientist. Here
Mhm.
he is, blasting away.
Yeah.
Looks like Nightshade is a goner several times. Look like they got her. But she keeps getting back up.
Yep.
They had her on a table and she was unconscious, and they were drawing her life's force or whatever. But somehow, well, Snow Bunny actually, she had a globe over her head, and Snow Bunny crashed that so she could
Yeah,
breathe
there's the
again, and then
globe
she
over her
jumps out
head.
and saves the day.
See the globe? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah.
So it's a
Anyway,
great
from
story, man. Epic
1986.
story.
That is
Yeah.
really something.
I think in my opinion, this is one of the finest small press comics that was published
I'm
back in the
thinking
80s,
that
back in
myself.
the 1980s. It
Yeah.
really stands the test of time. It's as fresh now as new and
Yeah.
as exciting. And man, the artwork is superb.
Superb. And it's
So
$9, but worth every penny of it.
absolutely, it's a collect.
I don't
It
know how
really
many
is a
pages
collector's
it is,
item.
but it's huge. So
Yeah.
$9.
It's a definite small press collector's item. Everybody
Yeah.
should have this one, seriously.
Now here's Snow Bunny sample book right here from Jeff. Sample book 2020.
Sample book 2020. Yep.
And this has all kinds of there's a story in here. There's just samples of the work. Beautiful artwork.
And Jeff is drawing in sort of a manga style. It's a
Little
Japanese
bit.
style, but a
Yeah.
particular type of manga style. And I mean, like if you look at this,
It's
and
very,
this one,
it's just lines.
this one's very, rather almost
There's no
sketchy.
shading
This
or
is just
anything like that. Just lines. But
just showing a distinctive style.
yeah.
And Jeff has a distinctive style. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
definitely he does.
And then it changes to color.
And that's a hilarious. That's funny there.
Yeah.
That's a satire on the Psycho shower screen, the shower
here's a
scene.
Pin up.
Psycho. Yeah, there's a lot of sexy stuff in these stories. You may notice this.
Yeah. And she's saying
She says,
this cannot be the whole outfit.
this cannot be the whole outfit.
Apparently it is, though.
The Snow Bunny is a very voluptuous female character. So
Now here's on this page is Snow Bunny Goes to Canada. Is in there.
goes to Canada.
Yep. We have that, and we have almost a coloring book page here. Look at that. You could
Plus
color
this one
that.
here. Yes, nobody goes. I gotta say something about this. This has got a hilarious scene. This guy. Okay, there's this. What are they trying to do here? There's someone. Like a secret agency or something. They're trying to teleport a Snow Bunny, to transport her from one place to another. Like beam me up, Scotty. So they're doing this. They're getting ready to do it, and what happens is they transport only her clothes. She's up at so her clothes actually make it there, but she doesn't. So she's stuck up there in Canada without any clothes at all.
There she is. Yes.
It's cold in Canada at certain times.
Yep.
And what I love is the expressions on the guy's faces here. Look at this guy with his tongue hanging.
Yeah. And the other guy falling off the table was just hanging on by his fingernails there.
That is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That is so funny. I just cracked up when I saw that.
She got
that is Jeff Wood's artwork.
goofed out of her clothes. And there's another color page toward the back.
Yep. Now there's a story in the front here. More trouble with Hazfez, but it's written by Jeff, but the artwork is by Ben Dunn. And I just want to mention that because I remember Ben Dunn way back in the 1980s.
Oh.
And I only knew him for a little while, and I haven't seen anything by him since. So I don't know if this is something recent or not. It looks more recent. But
Mhm.
if Ben is still around,
Mhm.
ooh, he wasn't this good back then. He's gotten a lot. Yeah, absolutely a lot
That's what
better.
happens if you keep on drawing, you know.
Right. So good to
Yep.
see that name. Good to see Ben. If you're out there watching somewhere, good to see you. And man, you've gotten so good.
And
So
here's something
good.
by, do you know a Risa Challender? I'm sorry.
Nope, don't
Risa
know that
Challender?
name.
Look at that.
Jeff has a habit of Risa Challenger. I
Challender.
don't know that person, but
Okay, I
Jeff
don't
has a
know.
habit of attracting a lot of
Excellent
the
artists.
finest
Yeah.
talents out there. You know, he published when Tim Corrigan quit publishing Small Press Comics Explosion.
Uh-huh.
The Seattle Four took over, which was, and they started publishing Comics Effects. Comics Effects took over after Small Press Comics.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Right. When Tim ceased, they said the torch is passed, and they were publishing this, and it was pretty much like SPCE, not
Mm-hmm.
quite as comprehensive, but they did a fantastic job. And it was four guys who lived in Seattle. It was Jeff Wood, Wade Busby, who's passed away since then,
Yeah.
Ed Vick, and what's the name of the other guy? Jeff, remember what was the name of the other guy? But there was four of you guys, and it was great. You know, they published it tabloid size, I believe, for a while, and
Wow.
it changed to magazine size. It's been a long time, but
Yeah.
that was a zine that followed SPCE when Tim originally
When he quit.
stopped.
Oh boy.
So
Wow.
yeah, that was the
Surprised I
West
never
Coast.
heard of that because I was always looking for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Comics Effects, the Comics Effects.
And here's a little mini snow bunny called Bright-Eyed and Bushy-Tailed #2.
You know
And
what?
this is from,
That's fine. Go right ahead. I couldn't find my copy, but I think I
okay,
do have a copy.
this is from 1987. And it's a snow bunny story. And it's about 8, 10, well, it's 14 pages in the
Yeah,
story there
it's from the early days of mini
from the early
comics.
days, but the artwork you'd never know was from that long ago. Look at
Yeah,
that. Beautiful artwork.
like I say, Jeff's work stands the test of time. It
Not kidding.
absolutely
Yeah.
does. It's as great
Beautiful.
now as it was then.
Yeah.
So I got to
Then he
mention this
sent,
cover.
yeah. And he sent this.
Yeah, for Snow Bunny, or Snow Bunny and her Phantasmagorical Dark Ride, or Snow Bunny's Dark Ride. This
Mhm.
cover is by Jeff Wood, and look how much he's improved. He was so
Yeah.
good back then, but look at this.
I know. Yeah. It's amazing.
What detail, what, and the color and everything.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I didn't even know it was Jeff.
Calls his brand Pseudo Comics. But
Yeah,
that is
beautiful.
really, really nice work.
Yeah. And this is a dark and scary but very funny story.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, where Snow Bunny she's actually looking for her long lost sister, and she ends up crashing. Where's she at? Is this on Earth? In any case, she ends up crashing somewhere, and her destination is right ahead. And it's a haunted house.
Oh, yeah.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Look at that.
You
Wow.
talk about a wild ride. Her adventures as she goes through this house, room by room. I mean, right away you've got the portraits that are the portraits looking at her. They're watching her as she walks by.
Yeah.
But it gets crazy after that. Some of it's in color, and a lot of different artists contributed to this.
Right.
So I'm assuming.
Look at the list of artists that contributed to this.
Yeah.
All on the table of
There's a
contents.
long list of people who worked on
All
this.
kinds of people. Yeah.
I don't think
So,
it's a jam comic. I think it's maybe a little bit of a jam comic, but Jeff definitely held the thing together. Jeff
Yeah.
Jeff
But,
had the plot.
you know, every different kind of style you want. Look at this.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of it's in color, a lot of it's
And
in
this is
full
by
color.
John P. Morgan.
Yeah, and I think he mentioned it. I think John Morgan was passed away.
Oh, one of them may have. I don't know.
One of them passed away. He mentioned that at
Hmm.
the beginning, but he was a great artist,
Yeah.
and
Risa
yeah,
Challenger
he
is
mentioned
in
it
here too
somewhere.
again,
Hmm.
right there.
So every few pages, there's a different artist.
Yeah.
And
Jason
this is
Waltrip.
so beautiful. This guy
Jason
here,
Waltrip, look at that.
yeah, this is John P. Morgan here,
Mm-hmm.
and this is funny because um, she's being tempted by this demon guy, you know, with
Oh, yeah.
this ice
Yes.
cream
Yeah.
concoction, like a banana split or something. And then when she gets close to it, it actually turns into a bulging-eyed demon monster. This
An
disgusting-looking creature,
ice cream
not at all
monster.
appetizing.
Yeah. Boy, the artists in here, they're just fantastic. Look at
Yeah, there's
this.
a few different styles, but it all holds together. For some
Different
reason, it's very
styles, but each style is fantastic.
yeah, there's John P. Morgan. Okay, yeah, it says there's a memorial page. So it was John Morgan.
Oh, okay.
He mentions that John P. Morgan had passed away, and here he is. Here's his zany, cartoony style, as you were showing. But he mentions that.
Yeah, here's some more John P. Morgan back
So
here.
cool that we have his artwork to look back at. To look
Yeah.
at now.
Yeah, he had a wild style. I love that. That's more John P. Morgan.
This is Mike Segarra.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody finds a pretty little rose that turns into this, sort of like Little Shop of Horrors. Feed me. Look at the colors, man. Really nice.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Joe England. That's Joe England's work.
Joe England, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, there's so much in here.
In true fashion, Snowbody somehow always ends up at somewhere. She always ends up naked.
Yeah. I don't know how that happens, but
they never show anything. It's all in good taste.
This is 63 pages.
63 fantastic pages.
The cover price is $20, but for all that color and all that artwork, wow. Amazing.
Wow, you totally get your money's worth.
Yeah. You can look at this for a long time.
There's something from
There's
John
stuff in
Morgan.
here you can read. The introduction is long. You can read, and, it's just great.
John P. Morgan does a character in here who's like, looks like the Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And
I'm sure he did that on
rhyme.
purpose.
He talks in rhyme, and it's just like Dr. Seuss. Hello there. I act as your host, not a monster, nor pirate, nor demon, nor ghost. You're just like the gardenist, no need to feel fright. With a twist of my finger, I'll turn on the light. And he goes on for 3 or 4 pages like that.
Fantastic.
It's crazy.
Stuff. Now, he also included, for me, I don't know if you got this or not, Steve, 127K retread. And this
I didn't get that.
Yeah. What this is 8x11 sheets stapled together, and just a bunch of different stuff. The mailbag is in here, his mailbag. All kinds of stuff. Cartoons, all kinds of stuff.
I might have it somewhere, but it didn't come with this.
Didn't come. And color pieces are in here. Whoops. Color, all kinds of stuff in here.
Nice back cover by John Morgan too.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy science fiction, fantasy.
So that's just a little
animals.
There's no price on this or anything. I don't know if he includes that with their purchase of anything. I'm not sure,
It
but
says $20
great
on
thing
the
to have.
cover. It says $20 on the cover. Might
Yeah.
want to contact Jeff just to be sure on that one.
no, I'm talking about this. I don't know if there's any charge for
Oops.
this.
Oh, that's probably an extra, like you said.
I think it's kind of an extra it's got all kinds of stuff in it. It's even got, I lost the page, but there's actual models of some of the characters that you can buy.
Oh, yeah?
But I don't know that
That's cool.
they look like these characters. See, and it may just be a coincidence that they look like them, but you could buy models like that.
And it looks like Snow Bunny down
Looks
there.
like
to the
Snow
left.
Bunny, yeah.
So it
But
might.
I believe
possibly
Jeff
is.
Wood is a design engineer by trade. I think that's what he does for a living, because his webpage has some of his designs, mechanical designs for industry. So apparently that's why he can draw things like that.
Incredibly creative person.
Yeah, yeah.
And been around for a long time, and he just gets better and better. So
really a true.
Yeah, we really appreciate your work. Maybe
he's really almost like one step or two steps above small press. He's like a pro, but it's so hard to be a pro.
As far as I'm concerned, he is a pro.
Well, yeah, exactly.
He's not getting paid
as good as
not getting paid to
anybody else you would see. Yeah.
So, I see a lot of stuff. I don't even look at
it's pro quality artwork. Yeah. So. Yep.
The last few times I went to a comic shop and tried to look at new comics, I'm like going through, yeah, what is this crap?
I know.
Small press is so much better than this.
I've never have been a superhero fan. Just never was.
Or if you look at mainstream comics these days, and I am out of touch, so I can't say everything.
Yeah.
But the last few times I went to somewhere and looked at, I'm thinking, the art is flashy, it's beautiful, whatever, it's flashy.
All computer
out there,
generated,
but the story is terrible.
I know.
Yeah. The art's taken over and people have forgotten how to tell stories.
Yeah.
But in the small press, people
totally
know how to
different.
tell stories.
No.
Yeah, and these are great stories. So.
Yeah. So that was quite a batch of stuff we had this time. And
anything left?
Another batch for the next episode already. So episode 23 will have a good batch of comics. After that, we may have time to get an interview in. So we've got plans.
We got a couple of people we would like to interview, definitely.
Yeah, some people said they would do it.
You guys that are watching.
They are not afraid of ruining their reputation being on with us. So we're going to let them do it. But anyway, thanks for watching. I think we've wrapped up this one, and we will see you on the next one. Take it easy.
Adios.
Hi, and welcome to episode 23 of Talking Small Press Comics with Steve Keeter and me, Larned Justin. Now be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't, miss any of these episodes. Also, if you plan to send us a comic to include in one of our episodes, go to the community tab. It's above the videos. Make a copy of this form, print it, and then fill it out and include it with your comic. That will ensure that we get the correct information when we talk about your comic. We won't miss anything.
Yep.
So that would be helpful.
Would be helpful. You don't have to do this, but we would appreciate it. It helps us to get all the information right. But, if you're ordering
sometimes a lot of the books don't have addresses inside, and we may lose the envelope and stuff like that.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start with Adam Rodriguez, Shark Man.
Here we go.
Yeah, Adam is something else.
He's the most irreverent and very funny. Even when he's
Yeah.
not trying to be funny, it's very funny because it's so offbeat, the stuff that he does.
Yeah.
This one is like,
Yeah, I was just gonna say this one, it has across the top what he calls a journal of sorts, and he writes across the top here, kind of explains a few things about the comic. And he also had a friend by the name of Ronnie James Dio, who was a musician.
Ronnie James Dio,
Yeah, and that influenced,
heavy metal guy, the heavy metal
and
guy.
he has a lot of influence from Ronnie James Dio.
And Dio was a huge, he was huge in the heavy metal scene, what, in the 70s and 80s? And he was even Deep Purple for like one album.
Was he? That I didn't know, but he does have.
Yeah, he's a for real rocker who passed away.
He did pass away, and he has a little article in the back about Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah,
And,
heck of a guitar player. But this is a real psychedelic comic. I mean, the guy, the protagonist of the story is doing magic mushrooms, and you don't know exactly if what he's seeing is real or not, but you suspect it is. He ends up he has a vision. We don't know if I don't know if it's a vision or if it's real, but he's transformed into a hammerhead shark.
Yes, he becomes a hammerhead shark. And when that happens, you lose the journal across the top of the page. That ends.
Mm-hmm.
So you're on your own. With
it puts lyrics from Dio up above, and as the words disappear, it says, "Don't write in starlight because the words may come out real."
Yeah.
And then the lyrics disappear.
It goes on, and he runs into a character, or actually maybe becomes a character called Dagon.
Yeah, and that's from
Dagon,
Lovecraft.
That's I was going to say that's from H.P. Lovecraft in 1918.
Yeah,
and he includes a paragraph from the Lovecraft story here, and there's a drawing of Dagon. Look at that.
There you go.
That's Dagon.
Yeah.
That's his interpretation.
Somebody knocks the door and knocks at the door. You open the door, and this is what you see. You slam the door shut.
Yeah, you close the door immediately.
But yeah, the Lovecraft influenced.
Mm-hmm. And let's face it, his art is it just moves fast. He's putting it down in a hurry, you can tell, and he's wanting you to get through these panels and
it's sketchy, but he's a good storyteller.
Yeah.
If you can look at the panels, if you take away the words and just look at the panels and you can see what's going on, you can still follow the story.
Right.
That's a good storyteller, and I think that Adam has that ability. I think he has that talent.
Yeah.
A skill.
Very interesting, but and the point is that you're looking at the book, but he's put a lot of thought and research into the book.
Absolutely.
Because of the influence of Lovecraft. So makes it, a wild looking book, but it's fun.
Lovecraft here, quote, "I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed."
There you go. Cool.
It's a comic on that, by golly.
Yeah. And then he has, that one, I just wanted to say that one is $5.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has Tales to Terrify, #4.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But this one, he did not write. Another musician by the name of...
Another musician?
Yeah, Dylan Blackthorne.
Is he a musician?
Yes. Yeah.
I actually missed that, but cool.
Dylan Blackthorne wrote the story, and it takes place in an unusual place called Outsput.
Yeah, I had to hold the zine way out, way
Yeah,
back.
you
to be able
gotta
to
get
read that,
back,
you know.
but it's Outsput, Massachusetts.
Outsput.
Yes, now, I've never been to Outsput, and I'm not sure I want to go to Outsput, but that's where it takes place.
It says just south of Innsmouth.
Yes.
Well, that's Lovecraft too. Innsmouth is a location in H.P. Lovecraft. There
Yeah,
again is the
Is it
Lovecraft
right?
influence.
Okay, well, it's
Mhm.
across from
Yeah.
Elementary Canal. Unfortunately, there's a canal near Outsput. Anyway,
Well,
it's about cats.
right.
All about cats.
And this one particular cat who has one eye and
Uh-huh.
one tooth
One
left
tooth.
after he was mistreated by his owner.
Yeah, and he has 6 claws though. So
6 claws.
I don't think he's anybody to mess with, actually.
Yeah. So his owner,
Now
his
much
owner
of
treated
this,
him. Mhm.
I was going to say, much of this rhymes. Not all of it, but much of it does. So I think that was the influence there by the Blackthorne. He got, it could almost for him be a song.
Wow. I wonder if these are song lyrics. It would be crazy if it was.
I don't know. I don't think it says if it's a song or not, but here is Dylan Blackthorne's website right here. If I can get my finger off of it so you can read it. But
Wow,
I'll put
that
that
looks
in.
nice.
I'll put that in the description also.
That's some
So
nice.
you can take a
artwork.
look, and I did look at it, and he's got his music on there and everything. Kind of neat.
So anyway, this guy, the owner mistreats this cat. Okay.
Right.
He's kicking him, and he's feeding him rotten meat.
Poison
And,
meat.
He
Yeah.
and the cat, however, he's lost an eye, he's lost a tooth, he's been really beat up. But guess what? He has friends
Yeah. There
in
they
the
are.
feline community,
You're
and the
gonna mess
friends,
with this cat. Yeah.
right? He gets them all together,
Mm-hmm.
and well, I don't want to
them
reveal the
together, and
ending, right? I
says-
don't want to reveal the ending.
It says the contract sealed and to be done ere the rising sun. There
I
you
wonder
go.
if this is based on a Lovecraft story.
I don't know.
It's somewhat Lovecraftian.
There's quite a, he does have quite an article in the back here
Mhm.
that you can read, and it talks a little bit about more about Tales of Terrify, what he's
Yeah.
doing with that and so forth. But
Well, the thing is, the cats get together and plan their revenge.
yeah,
He's not alone, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of cats, and so they all get together. And I'm not going to reveal the ending,
no, we can't reveal the ending, but
but you get the drift.
not too good for the old one.
And it's a great comic,
Yeah. Yeah. I know one thing I was gonna, Adam always.
I'm sorry. Look at the
Adam
cover.
always uses his initials AWR. And I thought that if Adam did his name with W. Adam Rodriguez, his initials would be War. That'd be kind of cool.
You could play with that.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for talking over you. I get excited, And
That's all right.
but the cover. Look at the cover. What we got? Because I'm looking, and there's like a female, obviously, and with a cat head.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then down here you see a witch's head on a cat.
Mm-hmm.
So the witch and the cat have switched heads, at least on the cover.
And
So-
this is Terrify number 4, and this is $5. So
Yeah,
good stuff.
we love Adam Rodriguez. He's always
Yeah, we
got
like
something
his stuff.
interesting.
Yeah,
And
we
it-
like Adam's stuff.
It's not like anybody else.
No, he's completely different. And I mentioned before, you got to go to his webpage because that's a riot right there.
Check it out, people.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got next.
We had Alan Sissom,
Alan Sissom, yes, this is interesting
our pal Alan Sissom.
because which one are you showing? Spotlight or
Sizzo Links the fanzine Spotlight featuring the
Spotlight.
Saga of the
This
Link.
is Spotlight. Now this includes Saga, the Link, #2. We also have #1, Saga the Link #1 in Imagination Link.
Yeah,
I
I
think
didn't pull that one out. It's over there somewhere, but you can talk about it.
He talks about continuing that in Imagination Link, but it actually winds up in Sizzo Link's Spotlight. He kind of changed his course. So
Alan is always changing his plans and trying different things. He'll be involved with something, then he goes, "Well, I have a better idea. Let's put it in this zine."
And it's kind of what I think he did here.
Mm-hmm.
But Imagination, or the Link, is a outer space story, and that's what's in this issue, is that story.
Right, he's an alien probe who has lost his memory, and actually has human memories. So he may be based on having the intellect of some human, and he's sent here to Earth, but he's lost. Let's say he's lost his memory, and he makes some friends, a couple of friends, and this one here kind of looks like Alan Sissom.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit like Alan.
It does it? All right. Yeah.
Alan, is that based on you? I don't know, but it kind of looks like you. And yeah, so he's trying to remember who he is and where he came from. And so it's a very interesting science fiction sort of story.
And like I say, that continues on into the Spotlight.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to see, but meanwhile, the people who created him, these weird-looking space aliens.
Yes, they're in the second story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at, right? And they've decided that he's out of control. They don't trust him, or they don't want him to reveal their presence, and so they send out an order to self-destruct. But he's fighting that and trying to find himself. He's trying to find himself and
he's
not be under their
like
control.
You said, he has these friends that will help him.
It's a cool story. It's really cool. Alan's art's really nice here.
Nice, clean art. Very well done.
Yeah.
And then he's got in the back, go ahead. Whatever you were going to say there. In the back, he's got Spotlight letters.
Letter column.
Column.
Letter from Mike Tuz, one of the greatest letter writers of small press comics in history.
Right.
An old pal. He's an old pal. He goes way, I've known him since the early 70s. Him and Jim Maine used to hang out together. I guess they lived in the same area in Connecticut. In fact, there's a picture somewhere of Jim Maine with Mike Tuz and a couple of other people. It's been a long, long time, but these guys used to hang out together.
I didn't know that.
And Mike Tuz, he writes really thoughtful. I mean, you could publish a book of just Mike Tuz's letters. They're like essays.
Yeah.
They're very thoughtful. He goes into detail.
Yeah.
And, so that's it. That's the Saga of the Link.
Of the letters section, there's 3-4 pages back there. So, quite a bit to look at. So always neat publications from Alan.
Yeah, that's nice that he puts that letters column in there.
Yeah.
People don't write letters much anymore, so you kind of like wonder where these came from,
I know. But I'm thinking Imagination Link has been replaced by the Spotlight. This will be the zine through the future, I believe.
Looks that way. Looks that way.
Yeah.
This is number 21 of this one.
Yeah. But
So,
this is from 2021 and this is from 2022.
yeah, so he started in one book and he
Yeah.
continues it in
And
another book. I've done that before
I don't
too.
think he's doing this one anymore.
Hmm.
If I got that all wrong, then that's
Alan
normal.
will let us know.
Yeah.
So yeah, great book.
And what do we got next, Steve?
We got a lot of stuff here from one of the most talented guys I've ever known, whom I've known for 50 some years. And
It
he,
is
Steve
Steve
Shipley,
Shipley.
old pal.
Yeah.
And he and I share the same birthday. We were both born on April 20th.
April, no, not April Fool's Day?
No,
Oh.
we have the same birthday, and we both say yep, yep, yep a lot. So, yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
If you ever seen his videos, yep, yep, yep. So, but an old pal, one of the greats of small press, really in my mind. He published Dynamite back in the 1970s, which I did work for. I used to draw a lot, and I drew comic strips for that one. Matt Feazell, his first work, I believe, was published in Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
There were 9 issues of that back in the 70s. It was a ditto zine. And it introduced the Oracle Agents, a superhero group, and a lot of other really cool characters. And Steve is doing it. He's still doing it 5 decades later, and doing it better than ever. Better than ever.
I know Steve mostly. Well, I think I was in a group, a vlogging group with Steve. And then also, I know him mostly from his Facebook because he publishes numerous watercolor paintings and drawings and all kinds of stuff on Facebook that are really neat. And I didn't really realize he did comics.
Yeah, the stuff on Facebook that he does, the color work.
Yeah, but here is Space Sheriff #1.
Yeah.
And you get a Western.
Number 1 and 2.
Yeah, you get a Western and also a space story.
Science fiction Western.
Yeah, science fiction Western. And there's a pretty girl in it. And
absolutely. A pretty Native American
the
lady.
main character is found out in the desert, laying in the desert, and didn't know what happened to him. So the girl and her father kind of rescue him and nurse him back to health.
And somewhere along the line, he has an encounter with bad guys.
Yeah.
And they pull out their guns, and he pulls out his gun.
Yeah.
His gun will like totally disintegrate you.
Yeah, he's got a space gun, and he doesn't even know it.
He doesn't even know
no
it.
idea.
Well, it dissolved the other gun. He shot the gun at the other gun. So
well, he had to dissolve
you
it.
dissolved my gun. And then the bad guys are like, they run away.
Yeah, we get the heck out of here. What
That's
kind of
what
guns he
bad
got?
Bad guys, when they see that they're losing, they always run away.
Yeah.
That's the rules.
So the girl still doesn't know who this guy is. She's asking, "Who are you, stranger?" here in the middle panel.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't know who he is, really.
So the Native American is her and her grandfather, and they take him in, and they nurse him back to health because in the beginning he's kind of they found him. He's been out for 3 days. He was unconscious for 3 days out in the desert. Anyway, they take him in, and he has dreams about possibly who he could have been, and there's this. In his dreams.
Yeah.
So he's definitely from another planet, another world. He doesn't know it, but he gets along well with the Native Americans.
Yes, he does. And even though the grandfather never says a word, He doesn't talk.
One of the guys in the story is a racist. This guy here with one eye.
Mm-hmm.
He's a racist trying to kill the Indians.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't happen. He
No.
because our hero interferes. Ends up dragging this guy back into town. There's a little small western town there. And just by chance, this town needs a sheriff.
And
guess who becomes the sheriff?
The man with no name becomes the sheriff.
Space sheriff. It's a great idea.
Stay tuned for more.
It's cool because
we got more right here.
We got more.
Yeah.
This reads like a western, but it's like
space
science fiction.
Yeah. It takes place with a man from outer space. And so this is number 2. These are $2.50.
Oh man, totally worth it.
You
both of them
beat
for
that.
$5. You can't beat that. Yeah.
No.
For this quality of art and story, yeah, it doesn't get any better than this.
Aliens. The Space Sheriff, and this one's called Aliens.
Yeah. The second issue gets a little more into the alien aspect of this.
Yeah. I find the sheriff's hat for a cowboy hat interesting. Do you? The sheriff's hat. Take a look at the sheriff's hat. I don't know. I just think that it's not your typical cowboy hat that you would normally see.
No.
I don't know why.
Yeah. He's styling there. He's just, he's doing his own thing.
He's dressed up pretty well. And he's got his space gun too.
Yeah, and the bad guys, there's some bad guys in this story, and they capture the space gun. They get a hold of it, and when they do, this guy was trying it out, and it just, obliterated half of his head.
I thought was pretty interesting there, because what he did was shoot half of his head off. I mean, yeah, there.
Not good. You don't aim a pistol, any kind of gun at your head.
Yeah, and then you never point a loaded space gun at anybody, right? And he shot half of his head off. It doesn't seem to affect him. I don't think there was anything up there anyway.
That's so funny.
But it didn't seem to affect him. So, but screw around with a space gun, you're going to get hurt.
Yep. And in order to capture that gun, they had to beat up the sheriff. And that's what they did. So there he is. He's in trouble again.
They're back to nursing him again. Yeah.
And he's rescued by the lady and her granddad again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again, they have to nurse him back to health. So
right.
And the guy who stole his pistol tries to take over the town.
Mm-hmm.
So there he is. Then I have this gun, this amazing power, and you guys are going to have to worship me. You're going to have to accept me. And so there's going to be a retribution somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
But what happens is, I don't want to reveal too much of the story.
No, don't say too much, but
too much. But we know this guy came from outer space. We don't know why. But
right.
There's these alien guys up there, and who apparently they consider him a criminal, and they're pursuing him, and they're pursuing and by tracking the gun, they this laser gun, they zero in on the gun, and they say, okay, we got him. What they got was not him, because somebody else had the gun. So there goes your retribution right there.
Yeah.
The aliens zapped that guy.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And then in the very last page here, it says the Wild West just got wilder. More in the next issue.
You remember the Wild West, that TV series?
Yeah, I remember that. But,
yeah, this is kind of like that, I guess.
Yeah. So you got to look for the next issue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when that will be, but
And
It's
I love his
coming.
artwork. I love his artwork. Steve Shipley has
Kaboom.
gotten better and better and better over the decades.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just as, as great as ever. We're
And
going to
we are incidentally hoping to interview Steve shortly.
Yeah, Steve has agreed to an interview, and
Yeah.
it might happen in another week or so. I'm gonna get back to Steve.
That's what we're
Are you
hoping.
ready? Are you ready? Ready or not? Here we come. I can send you the questions if you want to do the interview. It might be in our next episode.
Yeah, we're hoping.
And he's
But
well
he
worth
did send
interviewing.
us more than just 2 comics. He
Mhm.
sent 4. So this is the 7th guard.
Yep,
And
which is cool.
I don't know if this has a number. I guess this is it just says the fall of
This would be number
2021.
1. Number 1.
You see number 1 on there?
Yeah, it's very small, but it's right there at the top, right there. It's very tiny.
Oh, I see it. I just
You and
thought
I
it
might
said
need a
fall.
magnifying glass.
Yeah, number 1, fall of 21. So this is number 1.
But he is, okay, there's this planet in outer space. There are
Yep.
7 guards who are supposed to guard 7 guardians who's supposed to guard the 7 solar systems.
Yep,
And
they're
the
right
leader
there.
of all these people calls in all the 7 guards for a special
Mhm.
meeting.
Yep.
And they show up, only one's missing. There's only 6 guards. Like, what the heck? And there he is. There's the 7th guard, and he slept late.
Yep.
He just happened to sleep late, so he didn't
Yeah.
make it to the
He
meeting.
overslept and missed the doggone meeting. I
And the
mean,
next
come
thing
on.
Next thing you know, they send him. They send him to the planet Earth.
Yeah.
For a really difficult mission. I guess they're kind of, this is what you get for missing the meeting. He has to go to the planet Earth and protect the planet from evil, and evil's about to happen. And he's got a sidekick here with horns, who's really funny. What's his name? Copenstrom. So
I like this panel. Look at that. The action panel.
yeah.
Crash. Look at that.
Yeah,
That is cool.
That's superb. That's excellent. Oh my gosh. I like the screens that Steve is using. He does stuff in color that's magnificent.
Yeah.
There's so much good stuff in this story.
I'm anxious to talk to him about how he does all this.
Yeah.
Because I know some of it he does on a computer, but I don't know how much,
So these guys, so they're trapped. So they're on the planet Earth, and things aren't necessarily going all that well. They meet a lady, and she takes them into her home. She doesn't really know what she's doing. She's planning on calling 911, and there she is. She meets these guys. She thinks they're like guys in Halloween costumes. She doesn't know what's going on, until giant robots and monsters attack. And so Copenstrom,
that's what I was going to say. I think his name is Copenstrom.
Copenstrom.
This guy.
She says, "Make yourself at home. What are you guys really up to?" And he says, "Well, you're kind of attractive for an Earthling. Are you interested in mating?" Yeah, and the 7th guard, this guy, he says, "Stop it." Because this guy's really goofy. So he's kind of the comic relief in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some action scenes. We got some action here, which Steve is really good at.
Yeah.
He did the Oracle Agents.
Lots
He did
of
the
action.
Peacemakers. He's done a lot of great stuff over the years. He's doing a lot of work for Yeet Comics now. YEET.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a group of creators, and you have to pay to be like a member of this group.
Oh.
But that's where Steve is right now. He's doing a lot of work for those guys, and from what I've seen, the stuff that he's posted on Facebook, it looks like he's putting out some of the best work of his entire career.
Wow. Holy mackerel.
So,
That's great.
That's Steve.
Maybe we can get a copy.
Maybe. I think we have to pay for it. You have to pay to be a member. It's like
Well,
$7 a month or something.
we
So,
can do that.
which is why I haven't done it yet. But maybe
Yeah.
maybe if you want to do it, maybe we can do it.
No, we'll
What do
see.
you think, Steve?
Yeah.
Should we join
We'll-
Yeet?
We'll talk more about that. I've got some ideas along those lines, so we'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
And on the back of this book is an ad for Drill Bit, which we have.
Drill bit.
There's Drill Bit.
And we got one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is Drill Bit number 1. Summer of 2021, he did this.
Another science fiction story.
Right. And he's really into science fiction because all of his stories are science fiction. They seem to be. Now, Drill Bit, look at that guy.
That's Drill Bit.
That's Drill Bit right there.
I guess this is his
He's a
creator,
robot.
Robbie.
Yeah, he's Robbie's robot.
Robbie and his robot. Not Robbie the robot, but Robbie and his robot.
No, Robbie's robot.
It
Yeah.
was a Robbie and his robot
Yeah.
many years ago in the movies.
Was there?
Oh yeah, Robbie.
I'm
and
sure
what
this
was-
is
what
not
was-
not the same Robbie's robot.
No, that was different. Robbie the robot was in a lot of movies back in the 50s. And I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of the name of the movie, but you guys will tell me. I know you will. I know you're going to tell me in the comments below. How can you forget that, Steve? It's one of the greatest science fiction films of all time. Robbie the robot, but I'm drawing a blank. That's what happens when you get a little older, 66.
And a villain appears in here, right here.
Yes, a very
Right there.
nasty sort of a guy.
Yeah, I was looking for his name, but I didn't quite see it here. Anyway, he's the villain.
Yeah, he talks like a villain. Interesting how villains always laugh. Ho, 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 ho. So he says,
And a couple
silly
more
man,
villains.
someone will win this time and someone will lose, and you will be the loser. Ho, 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 ho. A very dastardly villain.
Action. Look at the action.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Yeah.
Pow. And I wouldn't mess with that robot. Look at that. I mean, you're messing with the wrong guy if you mess
That's
with him.
right. And there comes a point where they have to use public transportation.
That always happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're getting on the subway here, but the
Yeah, with
robot
a-
is too
With a
big.
giant robot,
Yeah.
you know.
He's too big, so he, they just take his head off, and Robbie sits there with his head in his
Yeah,
lap.
he has to hold the guy's head. Yeah. Interesting.
That's convenient when you have a friend who's a robot. You just
And he's big, but you can still take him with you if you take his head
that's
off.
right. That's
So-
right. Just take the head off.
Yeah. Come on, Steve. Anyway, just a great comic. Really cool.
And then at the end, the robot says,
Yep.
"We're not evil, are we, Robbie?" And he says, "No, Drill Bit. We are not perfect. No one is.
Yeah.
But we are not evil, and they're just different." So there they are at the end, just sitting there, pals, with that camaraderie.
You will soon find out what evil men can be, is what it says. So that means that number 2 is coming along.
There you
I'm
go.
sure.
Excellent first issue. Much
Yeah.
enjoyed.
And up next is an amazing, I don't know what, from Floyd Lewis.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure of all this, but we're going to talk about it. This is called Bat Manga, right here.
Manga.
Now, the thing about Bat Manga is when you look inside, I think these are probably public domain drawings that he has made a story out of. However, the
Adam West
story
Batman.
is in Japanese.
Right.
Now, Steve does not read Japanese, so he's at a huge advantage trying to review this.
He's disadvantaged.
As for me, I have no idea what it says. But there it is.
It's just hieroglyphics to me.
Now, how do you read Japanese? Do you read Japanese like this?
Oh my gosh.
Or do
Only
you
an
read it like
advanced
this?
race of beings could have invented such an incredibly complex language.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know. I
Kudos to the
forget
Japanese.
whether you read it, which way you read it.
Yeah.
But
It was fun to look at.
it's interesting to look at, and there's some kind of story going on here.
Here's an action picture here. Looks really good.
Yeah, look at that.
That looks really nice. Reminds
Yeah.
me of some of the Batman
And
trading
now
cards.
I do recognize these fellows. Adam West.
There they go.
Yeah.
And Burt Ward.
And Burt Ward, the original Batman from TV when we were small kids.
Yep.
Yep.
I had a love-hate relationship with that. I loved it, because it was cool to see
tongue in
Batman
cheek,
and
you
Robin.
know.
Yeah, but it was so corny. It was so
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
In a way, I thought, at that time, it was like, we were, as a young person, I used to tell people I read comics, but I was just a kid, right? And they were like, "Oh, you read funny books. You read funny books." They didn't have any respect at all for them. It's just something you read and toss in the trash.
Throw away.
And
Exactly.
at that time, and I was, like me and a lot of other comic book fans were a little sensitive to that.
Yeah.
And the campy Batman, it was like it wasn't. In a way, it was like it wasn't respecting the character; it was making fun of the character. And
Their famous thing, was "Holy manga, Batman!"
Holy manga, holy popcorn, holy whatever. But looking back on it, it's a funny show. It's like a comedy. It's really a comedy. It's not. It's an action adventure comedy, really goofy stuff.
Yeah, it was a comedy. I mean, it was funny.
But I do have fond memories of that show. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
I think I used to watch it all the time.
Yeah,
Always.
I watched
it had that music. Remember the music they would come on with?
Yeah, and they had Burgess
Batman
Meredith,
music.
and they had a lot of great actors. Playing
the
the
Joker
parts.
was Burgess Meredith, wasn't he? The
Penguin. The Penguin was
the
Burgess
Penguin.
Meredith.
He was the Penguin, yeah.
So
Jack. Gorshin. The
Frank
comedian
Gorshin was the Riddler.
Was the Riddler? Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch it in reruns now.
Yeah.
Um,
But now from Floyd Lewis, he's got some mini comics, real little mini comics.
Yeah.
And this one is called Jungle.
Jungle Ann.
And her name is Jungle Ann. I was thinking Jane of the Jungle, but this one is Jungle Ann.
Jungle Ann, and apparently it's a game, some sort of a gaming comic. It looks like he took pictures because you can see. It looked like he took photos of a game that he was playing online.
It could be that. It's hard to say how he did this.
Okay.
Now, when you get to page 11, it actually says the end, and then it says go to page 7. Well, you can do that, but that's not the end, because if you turn the page to
7.
Page 12, well, you go back to 7, see what you find. I'll show them 12.
I did. Page 7 looks like this.
Yeah, that's page. So she's walking, and then this continues her journey up those steps. And then if you can follow this, you are a better man than I am.
I think this is pretty clearly a video game.
It may be, but
like
translating it into a comic book is rather hard.
Yeah, you can't keep up with it.
No.
I mean, it's nice looking at the scantily clad heroine.
No.
Jungle Ann.
But you do get a key.
Yes.
You have found the key.
The tower is locked. You must find the key.
Door. So now you got to take this key and go to the tower door and unlock it.
Yep.
It's on page 8. It says. So let's go back to page 8. There's a lot of work now. There's the tower on page 8. And you have the key to unlock it now.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it though, but you have it.
Nice graphics.
Yeah. It's,
And
I don't know where he got the graphics.
you get through all of this at the end, it says,
That's
ta-da,
exactly what it says. You have done it.
you're the winner.
Yeah. I don't know what all those numbers and everything are, or what that is, but
Interesting that Floyd
it's
chose
different.
to publish this as a comic.
I would say it is different. And now next up from Floyd, a booklet of general plans. It's very hard to see, very light. General plans.
General
If you open the
plan.
book,
It looks like blueprints
You've
for the Enterprise.
yes, you've got
Star Trek.
printing that nobody could read ever inside.
It's
And
pretty light, yeah.
So you have that.
Yeah. It looks like, it's a spaceship from Star Trek. It's a Star
It's,
Trek,
yeah.
like Enterprise kind of spaceship.
Yeah,
And, apparently Floyd just wanted to do this for fun. And
I guess, but
here it is. Looks nice.
it's nice and it's impossible to read, but nice. So we have that, and
Floyd is so creative. He's bound to have his ups and downs. I mean, there's stuff that he's done.
oh yeah. Well, I mean,
But we enjoy seeing everything he's
Yeah.
done. Oh, Cesar
Yes, yes.
Romero.
Huh? Hold it.
I
What?
had an inspiration.
Oh,
We danced around the Joker. The Joker on Batman was Cesar Romero.
you are right.
And we were
That is
both
exactly-
dancing around it. We got Frank Gorshin.
Yeah, I was trying to think who the Joker was, and you got it.
That's right. 10 minutes later, I come up with the answer.
Yeah.
Now let's get back
Speaking-
to our program.
Speaking of the Joker, here's the world's greatest April Fool's joke.
How apropos.
Yes. How did we do that?
And I didn't know about this.
This is it. And what it is a whole bunch of mainstream cartoonists.
Sunday newspaper
Fool's
comics.
jokes.
The Sunday newspaper comics, and apparently as an according to this, I'd never heard of this before, but in April 1st, 1997, all of these people who do all of these artists who do Sunday newspaper comics fooled the world. Different they changed artists,
Oh,
they drew each other's characters without
Really?
saying anything about it.
no kidding. This is very hard for me to read. It's very small.
It says Tank McNamara was drawn by Chip Sampson.
Hmm.
They switched. They did a big switch on everybody. And they didn't say
I
anything
see that
about
now. Huh.
it. And let me see.
But who drew Dagwood? Or did drawing? Did
Instead of Blondie, instead of what is it?
Chick Young?
Chick
Did
Young?
he do somebody or?
Blondie. Here, check this out. Blondie was drawn by Jim Davis, who does Garfield,
Oh, okay.
and Garfield was drawn by Chick Young.
Well, Garfield is in the Blondie comic here.
Yeah, yeah, that's that too. There's a crossovers, and you
Yeah.
see the characters appearing in each other's stories,
Yeah.
and so I
I
guess
wish this was bigger. You know,
yeah,
it's small, but pretty interesting.
it's complicated, but it's funny, and most of these
couple,
artists remain
Couple
true to
blondies in here. Hmm?
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of cool stuff, but apparently these were Sunday newspaper strips,
Yeah.
but not drawn by the original artist. Everybody
Amazing.
switched up for
I
a
would've
day,
never-
confounded the world.
I would have never known that. Plus, I didn't even notice that in this book.
Yeah. And nobody buy. I
How
don't
much
buy
attention I
newspaper. I
pay.
haven't bought a newspaper in years, so I don't know what's in the Sunday newspaper comics.
Yeah.
So, but
And
very
back
cool.
here,
Very cool.
back here is a lot of small print. Back here.
Yeah, they tell you everybody. They tell you everybody who did what, and it goes a lot. There's a whole
Yeah.
lot of crossover there.
Yeah.
Let's
Pretty
see.
cool. And I believe that probably $1. I don't know.
Beetle Bailey was drawn by Jeff McNally. Shoe was drawn by Mort Walker. So they switched.
Mm-hmm.
Family Circus was drawn by Scott Adams. For Better or Worse was drawn by Mike Peters, and on and on and on. And he collected all these into a little mini comic, which is cool to have. It's really cool to have.
Yeah.
Because it captures a moment in history, in the history of comics. And
Pretty clever.
Very cool that he saved that.
This was in 1997 they did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had no idea. I wasn't aware of it.
No, I wasn't either.
But a
I
great
don't know, nobody was.
joke.
I don't think anybody was. Wow.
But Floyd was. Floyd caught it, and he captured it
out and put it in a little book. I stole Floyd.
There you go.
Yeah. So
thanks, Floyd. We appreciate that.
Yeah. So we've come to the end of another episode, actually.
Yes. Parting is such sweet sorrow.
I got Jim Maine's latest. And Steve didn't get his yet. So we decided not to include it in this show. We're going to put it in the next show so we can both look at it. But
I got the PDF, but it's better to have the hard copy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch to Jim for sending it, and we will talk about it next time.
Yeah. And we may have an interview with Steve Shipley next time as well.
I don't know how
we'll see.
exactly do that, but we'll do something. I'm sure.
We'll work it out.
Yeah,
we always manage to bungle our way through things and get to it.
So
43 episodes.
You all next time.
Oh yeah, I just want to say something.
Okay, then we will see you this time.
22. Our last episode got like 224 views.
Yes.
The last
We are
time
excited. We have
awesome.
over 220 views on the last video. The one before that is up to over 113. Somebody's looking at these. They must not have anything else to do.
Yeah, somebody share these. If you guys want to share our videos and help us to to achieve our potential promoting the Small Press Comics network, feel free to let other people know and share the link.
Share the link, sure.
And we're very honored and happy that you're doing that. So
and send us your comics if you're a creator. We'll sure put it on here and try and give you the best look we can. We enjoy doing it, so you send them, we'll show them.
There you go.
All right. See you next time.
Adios.